Alrighty, folks. Are you ready to get this party started? I'm so pumped for today. Let me pop over here so y'all can see me. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Voodoo Val, and I'm going to be your host today for CreaTips. I'm super excited. This is kind of a newer show that I have been doing here on Adobe Live, and I'm having a blast with it. I really am. I see so many familiar faces in the chat. I see Annika, the one and only. Welcome in, Annika. It's good to see you. Alessandra, welcome in. Christelle, RB, it's good to see you. Let's see. I saw Wade up there. Julie, welcome in, everybody. So for those of you who are new to CreaTips, what is it? CreaTips is a show that's designed to give you some pro tips and advice and things on all of the most asked questions that I have seen in the chat over the years, things that a lot of people ask recurringly. So advice I feel like a lot of people are always looking for, always needing, and things that I wish I had answers to when I first started on my creative journey as well. Yeah, Amy Hood in the chat. What's up, Amy? In the YouTube chat, welcome in. It's good to see you. Val's hair on point per usual. Thank you, girl. So speaking of Hoodspa Design and Amy Hood, Amy is actually going to be our industry pro speaker today, which is really exciting. So for these CreaTips episodes, I always like to have a little bit of outside advice to bring in to the stream. And today, Amy Hood is going to be sharing advice for our CreaTips question of the day, which is how do I present finished work to a client? I feel like Amy and all the folks at Hoodspa are so good at offering advice on this particular topic. So we're going to pop over and hear some advice from Amy, and then we're going to dive into creating a project centered around that advice. So let's pop over and see what Amy has to say.
Amy Hood here with your CreaTips question of the day, which is, how do you present finalized creative work to a client for feedback? First things first, and this may seem basic, but instead of just throwing a JPEG of the work into an email and saying, what do you think? We like to put it into a nice little paste out deck. Now, what goes into said deck? Well, first, you're going to repeat the brief. You're going to briefly restate what the mission was of the project, what the goal was, because you want to let them know upfront that you thought of this and your solution meets that goal. After you've shown them the why, then you present the work. You know, that's where you throw in that JPEG of just the black and white, simplest iteration of the work that they can kind of just clearly see. Now, this is the last and the best part. Contextualize the work. So if they are a food company, your client, and you're doing a logo for them, show it mocked up on some packaging. Show it mocked up in a grocery store aisle. Show it mocked up in, in an aisle with their competitors. You want to make sure that they see that it works in context. And all of this makes something that can feel very subjective into something very objective. Does it work? Does it stand out? Yes. It's easy for them to see, and you showed them that you solved their problem. So that's how we show final work to a client.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Amy. So that was some really great advice, right? It's not about just taking that image that you've created and shooting it off in an email and saying, hey, what do you think about just this one image? Which I admit I have done many times. I'm sure that there are people in the chat who have done that. And maybe for some jobs that works. But I think that creating a pitch deck to really present the work and show your client that what you have created from them has value in the real world, can be applied in day-to-day life, and let them visualize really what you've created and what the future of that deliverable can be, is a really great way to get your point across beyond just creating that design. So we're going to kind of dive into that, but first I would really love to highlight Hoodspa Design and Amy's work, just so you guys can really see how fabulous she is and how fabulous the folks over at Hoodspa are. So I'm going to pop over real quick and just take a look at the Instagram for Hoodspa. So this is Hoodspa's Instagram. Instagram, you can come over here and see a lot of the wonderful different, like they have live streams, interviews, they have a shop, which is really great. You can scroll through and see a lot of the design. I'm a big fan of Chutzpah because I feel like there are so many different vibes going on just like on this first scroll through alone. A lot of personality, a lot of excitement, a lot of passion when it comes to design, and products for a lot of different situations and stuff. They have a very wide range of things that they like to work on, and I'm in love, and you should be too. So that is the Chutzpah Instagram, but also since we're working on pitch decks and stuff, please keep in mind that Chutzpah does actually sell their pitch deck. So if you're looking for a really great, highly professional looking template to use for your future projects, you can also check out their Pro Deck bundle, which is really awesome. Definitely going to be getting my hands on that. But for what we're working on today, we're going to be creating kind of a pitch deck based on a lot of the information we just got from Amy, and we have a fictional client which I invite you all to design for with me. So one of the things that I have for you today, which we will get linked in the chat, is I have created a library for you guys with a lot of cool illustrations. We got a strawberry, we got a mango, banana slices, we got some pineapple juice, and some yogurt, because we are going to be designing illustrations like these here, illustrations that your client can use to show the ingredients of their smoothies at their smoothie bar. And that is kind of a passion project that I wish could be a real life client for me. I feel like I would really enjoy doing that. As you can see, I love painting little icons, little items, and things like that. So you can use the illustrations that I have prepared for you, but we're also going to go over a little tutorial of how I created these, and then we're going to start presenting them in a way that is really attractive. So I'm going to pop over real quick to my Photoshop so that we can take a look at what we've got going on. So I've put in here, just so that we can visualize on the stream, a lot of the tips that Amy gave us. What should be included in your project pitch or your end product deliverable pitch? You want to restate the project goal, which is the why. Why are you doing this? What did they ask for, and what question are you answering them for, or answering for them with your design? You want to then place your simple work files. This can be a black and white version of the logo, just like the raw piece of work that you have done for them. And then you want to show them what it looks like in the future. What does it look like in real life application? And how can they visualize the future of this thing that you've created for them? So I have got, I do have a couple of mock-ups and things we're going to be diving into, which, by the way, all of the mock-ups and things you're going to see me use today, I got from the free version of Adobe Stock. So if you head over to adobestock.com/free, you can type in any mock-ups that you need. Make sure to select templates, and you can find a bunch of templates, which we will go over. So I've got this little board here. And with our notes, what I'd like to do is kind of start setting up a template of the things that I would like to definitely be visible on each page, because I think a good pitch deck has all of the information on it. For example, if you are going to send a project pitch or an end deliverable pitch to a client, and that client is not the only person working on this project, maybe that client is just your point of contact with the company that you're working with, things like that, I think it's really good to have all of the necessary information for anybody to know about you, about the project title, stuff like that on each and every page, so that if they decide they're going to send that one page through to maybe a 3D modeler or whoever else needs to see that information, they have the context as well on that image, even if they're not the person that's in contact with you in the emails, seeing all those things. So that's what I'm going to start with. You love my strawberry. I'm so glad. I had so much fun painting that strawberry. It was a good time. But yeah, it's not just my strawberry, it's our strawberry now. So if you folks would like to download that and use that in your projects, feel free. We've got the link to the illustration library in the chat. Thank you so much, Annika. Michelle, welcome in. It's good to see you. Christelle says, yes, Amy and Jen are amazing. I love their work. My favorite, Redondo font. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Let me make sure I'm not missing any questions. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the work. So I am just going to list out the things that I think are important, and I'm going to use a different size font for this, but I'm going to call this just Smoothie Bar for now. But chat, if you would like to name this smoothie bar, I will take a name from the chat if you'd like to name it. So I'm going to just call this Smoothie Bar. And we are also going to add that this is like the illustration, right? These are the illustrations, ingredient illustrations, I guess. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to write ingredient illustrations. And I think I'm gonna edit this text a little bit. I've got it a little far apart. I'm just gonna put it super close together there. And let's change that font size to something tiny, tiny. I want it itty bitty, honestly. Something even smaller than that, honestly. It doesn't really have to be super large, in my opinion. I feel like, and this is a pretty small deck. This is like your standard 1920 by 1080. So if you would like to upsize whatever you are working on, feel free. But I just wanted the general shape so that we can get a seriously strong visual of what we're doing. So I have like my smoothie bar illustrations. Boom, there we go. And then I want to also have, you could put maybe a logo over here. Let's grab, I'm just gonna grab like a circle, and I'll hold shift to kind of hold that aspect ratio. Let's go ahead and change that to black. At least I think that's black. There we go. And then I'll hit V on my keyboard to access my move tool, and I'm just gonna line that up right there and throw that in there. Just a placeholder. It doesn't have to be extra fancy and super complete right away. And then I am going to grab just my rectangle tool, and I'm going to do a tiny little divider, just something that can separate the top from the rest of my project here. And I'm going to zoom in, and I'm kind of gonna, let me go, I want to make sure I can see all of this. And let's hit V so that I can really, oops, line this up. Let's go ahead and, does that line? I definitely do want it to be aligned with the edge of that. So let's go ahead and come back to our shape, and I'm just gonna hover until I find that little drag. Boom, there we go. And then I will bump it up if I can. Can I bump it? Let me hit V, bump it, there we go. All right, so there's just like a little top portion that I feel works really nice, and we can Control or Command J, command if you're working on a Mac, and I'm going to make a tiny little footer, and then I'm going to put my name. I'm going to put my information so you know who's created this, and any other information that you feel would be pertinent for your client to know. I would love to know, for those of you who are in the chat who do actually create little pitch decks for your clients in this way to show the final deliverables, what do you put on each page? This is, I guess you could, it's not entirely comprehensive, just to kind of get the vibe here. I feel like it's starting to look like a pitch deck, right? Smoothie Bar Illustrations, it's by Voodoo Val, and if we wanted to as well, depending on, maybe you work for this client a lot, maybe this is a recurring client, maybe we will also put the year, which is something that is not uncommon to see in a pitch deck like this. So I'm going to say 2023. And I'm actually going to align that differently, and then I will bump this over and snap it. Boom. All right. So, we have our little outline of all of the different things that we want to see here. And another thing that could be cool is maybe a title in the center. So this is Smoothie Bar Ingredient Illustrations, but maybe we can call this add another text thing here, and we can add like a title for each page, kind of aligned to the center there. So for our first page, because we need to add our solo designs, just like the bare bones of like, what did I make for you, and we also need to make a page that's restating the goals. We could just call this like goals, and depending on your design, if you're working along with me and you want to soup this up, you could call this page something different. So let's just call this goals. That's a little big. And we could choose like a specific font size here, but I'm not too worried about it. We'll just call that goals for now. So we have our project goals. That G looks kind of like a C. I'm not sure if I like that G, but maybe we could change the font later. So we have our goals. And here, what I'd like to do is add kind of a little spiel about what our project was about. And we could leave this as lorem ipsum for now, but this is about where you would say like, hey, let me go ahead and align this differently. This project was set out to create illustrations that the smoothie bar can use to visually show their customers exactly what kind of fruit and things are in the smoothie that they're ordering. And something that I think would be really cute to do here as well, just to spice it up just a tiny bit, is we can make this a little bit smaller. And I think that this is all right to do, because you don't, what you don't want to do, I think, is like have so much information jam-packed onto every single page that it kind of feels like a chore to look at. Your client is getting this for the first time and they're like excited, like, what is Voodoo Val sending me? I want to see. So I don't want to bog down or overwhelm before I get to my work, and I also don't want to make it feel like I'm making my client read a book. Also include the date at the slide intro. Yes, it does read as a C. I agree, Annika. I'm not sure if I like that or not. I like to include the project name and the round we're on. That's an excellent idea. Maybe we will replace our oh, actually, we could probably put the round up here. Why don't we do this? Why don't we remove the year? Because I feel like the round that we're on should be up at the top where your client can see. So I'm going to take this little logo here and I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. And then I am going to, let me zoom in here. I'm going to snatch this up and I'm just going to bump this down to the bottom. I think that we could bump it down and that'll be like a little kind of design motif at the end there, a little tiny logo or icon, and then we should put, let's grab our text here, let's duplicate that, and I am going to snag that and bring that over here, and let's align it well. You select everything here, align it. Because I feel like the round we're on should be at the top where your client can clearly see it. So let's call this, we could say, if this is your final, maybe you give your client opportunity to give you feedback. And this is also, so if we name this something like, I don't know, feedback round number 2 or feedback corrections round 3 or final round. So we could say feedback final round. And you could work on the wording of that. Maybe that's not exactly how you would say it, but this is a great point. And I love that you bring that up, Amy, because one thing that I think is really, really important as you communicate with your clients is to reiterate exactly how much input they can put into the project after you really get going. And this is kind of a responsibility on you because your communication and your project planning and setting up mood boards and all of those things to really understand what your client wants from you. Doing all of those, ticking all those boxes before you get started on the work should really ensure that your client is happy with the direction you're going with your project. But if you do like to offer iterations or offer corrections, feedback, revisions, things like that during your project, it's very important to be super clear with your client exactly how often they will do that, exactly what they can ask you to change during that process. And as you send them that feedback, have something that clearly states exactly what revision round they're on. You could even say feedback round 3 of 3. Round 3, fight! Round 3 of 3. Oop, not 2, 3. So that, you don't give them the feedback and then they're like, yeah, this is great, go ahead and do that. And then you send it to them after those corrections and they want more and more and more and more and more. Yeah, be sure that you're on the same page. Michelle's saying always manage expectations. Absolutely. It is so important to make sure that you really get the point across of what exactly you are doing for them based on what they've told you, and exactly what they can give to you as far as input and all that stuff. Because I have been in that situation before where I wasn't clear because I was very nervous to be working with a client. This is very early in my creative journey, and not having those communication points hammered out can really cause a lot of headache later on down the road. It is difficult to get around that once you've made the mistake. So definitely keep an eye on those things. All right, so we have our goals, and I don't know how much information you will want. For us, for this personal project, we don't have tons and tons of information that really needs to be said here. Just a reiteration of the original project brief. I think what I would like to do though is make our text a little bit bigger. So let's bring it up to like 12, and let's go ahead and kind of space this out. I like that. Again, I'm working in a particular size here for my project, and maybe you will choose different font sizes and all that stuff, but this works for me, and I will center that. And something else that's also like kind of fun to do is give a little sample of your project. I'm trying to center this, and I've got so many things. Oh, there we go. I've got so many things to snap to on here, so it's not really showing. Um, Show a little sample of your work. So I do have the library, which you folks have access to if we get our link in the chat. I believe Annika linked it. Something that could be really cool to do here is maybe throw in some of your little illustrations. So we have only got a few. We have a few to choose from, but something that could be really fun to do is maybe to throw that little yogurt down here, just make it kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and snap that there. And then maybe we'll grab our mango as well. We could grab our little mango and maybe throw our mango here. Let's make it tiny. Throw our little mango, and then maybe we also throw our bananas. Let's throw our bananas in there. I'm actually gonna flip that horizontal so that the kind of lineup really works there. Maybe turn it. And I'm going to hold shift to like kind of hold that aspect ratio. But yeah, it could be fun to do something like this. I don't know if these are the ones that I would use, but kind of a little interesting something, especially if you were working on a client piece that has like icons or something. I don't know. That could be really fun. Maybe I will do this more like this, and let's set that right there. And then I'm going to grab this and we'll actually turn that to kind of give it a similar shape, just like so. That could be something that is cool, because so it just looks like there's some interesting little things sitting there. And as your client opens up and they start reading, they're like, oh my goodness, these are so cute. Can't wait to see what comes next. Keep them entertained throughout your project pitch. Thank you, Annika, for linking the library. All right. So we've got our goals, and then the next page we want to do is to kind of just show all of the illustrations that we have done. So I am going to actually take this artboard And normally, if for those of you who have used artboards before in Photoshop, maybe you know this, but if you are unfamiliar with artboards, or perhaps thought they were only in Illustrator, you can snag your artboard tool, which is right behind your move tool if you press V on your keyboard. And you could hit the plus button, which will add a perfect copy of the same size artboard, whichever side you hit that button on. But what I would like to do actually is just go ahead and duplicate our artboard and keep it so that we have our basic information that we wanted to keep. And I'm just going to have it kind of descend here. And I'm also going to rename this. Let's call this goals. Let's keep our our file organized and nice here. And this one I am going to call deliverables. Can I spell deliverables right? I believe I did. So we'll call that deliverables, and then I believe here we'll call this project overview, just so we can keep our eye on the ball over there. And then this final artboard right here is actually going to be called sticker, because there's a little sticker decal over there, which would be fun to use. And what is this artboard? Let me zoom out here. Oh, there's another one here. I'm just gonna leave that unnamed. So we've got our goals. And then another thing we have to do is, like I said, we want to do our deliverables. So let's call this deliverables. And let's center that, because my alignment's kind of crazy. I'm going to hit V on my keyboard and make sure I'm selected on move and not artboards. And I'll go ahead and center that. Can I center that? Yes, I should be. Please. I'm moving my mouse too much. Welcome to CreaTips, where we sit for an hour and watch Voodoo Val align elements in her project. I'm just gonna leave it. I might use a different word because I don't know if I like the balance of that up there, but you know, we're doing this in an hour, and I think that this is just fine for an hour's work. Okay, so I don't think we need this. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of our project brief there, and I'm also going to I'll delete these just because well, maybe I don't need to, I'm going to delete them. And I'm just going to select all and re-add them here. So I don't have to worry that they're not sized the same, because you can see as they jump in here, I've got all of the files in that library are sized pretty well. So now I can snag all of them and resize them at the same time. So I'm just kind of holding aspect ratio there, and I'm going to line these up. I like our yogurt in the center there, I think. I think I want our mango. Let's go ahead and go over to mango and Control T. And we can maybe bump these up. Maybe I'll bump our yogurt up. Boom. Let's grab our strawberry. Move that over there. Boom, there's our little strawberry. And I've kind of done this in a particular way. So what I wanted to do is, because we have a lot of yellow and like cream colors going on in our project files here, what I wanted to do is have our brightest images full of color and everything right at the edges there to kind of bracket. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I think it'll look a little bit odd if we have like both of our darker color items over on one side and then everything else is pretty bright. And one thing that I'm realizing now is our pineapple juice carton is really, really bright compared to our background, because we're using a white background. So that could be something that we change. Maybe this particular project brief should have a different color background than just your standard white. But I am not going to worry about that too much. So here's our deliverables. I think that you also could maybe talk a little bit about it, maybe add a little extra context if you wanted to, maybe name them would be really great. So if I wanted to grab my text tool, let me, yay, we centered that one. Haha. All right. If I wanted to grab my text tool just with T on my keyboard, I could come over and I could call this yogurt. Boom. Let's hit V on my keyboard, and I'm going to close my library so we can see everything. We'll call this yogurt. I know that that's a little self-explanatory because we do have it saying yogurt over here. I'm going to hold Alt and go ahead and line this up over here. And we're going to call this strawberry. Boom. And I am going to hold Alt with my move, and we'll go ahead and line that up as well. We'll call this mango. Also, I would like to know what everybody's favorite smoothie flavor is. I kind of chose my favorite things to add into a smoothie. I am a huge fan of mango. I think mangoes are absolutely delicious. I've never tasted anything that had mango in it that wasn't amazing. My favorite, I guess aside from smoothies, my favorite dish with mangoes is actually like mango sticky rice with the coconut cream and everything. Love mangoes, so if I have an opportunity to put it in a smoothie, you know I will. And then also, in addition to what your favorite kind of smoothie might be, we are also going to be jumping into Express today to create what we need for our next page, which is mockups and real life application shots. And we are going to need a title for our smoothie. So if you guys want to like name a mango smoothie or a mango or a smoothie in general that could have these ingredients, feel free to name the smoothie and I will choose smoothie names from the chat as well. Let's call this pineapple juice. Boom. And then let's also name our banana slices because we need our banana slices named. One of the most incredible things on the planet for me is the snapping grids. I really don't know where I would be without them. When I can manage to actually position it right, this is one of the design god's gifts to me in general. All right, banana slices. All right, banana slices. And you could arrange this in a lot of different ways, you know. So I've just kind of thrown them in here. And maybe if you want to add a little more context to your piece, you could do something different. You could, let's go ahead and group all of these. I'm going to group the text here and call this titles. And then I'm going to group our images here and call those full spread images. Full spread. I'll call it full spread elos. Boom. So that could be cool. And let's group both of these and call this design 1, just so that I know like this is an iteration for this page. But another thing that we could do is we could lay this out in a way that allows us to offer more context on each individual piece we have created for our client. So maybe if we grab, let's grab all these again. Boom, and let's drop them in here. So they're all placed with the same size, and then I will resize them all together. Maybe I want to line them up here, okay? Maybe I'll line them all up. And let's grab our strawberry. We'll bring our strawberry down here. Boom. Let's grab our pineapple juice. Bring our pineapple juice down here. Let's grab our mango. And let's grab our bananas. And we'll just line them up just like so, and we'll bump this up just a little bit. Maybe all of the different things that were very important to show our client is not only the information here like visually, but maybe there were very specific points that needed to be included in each of our pieces. Maybe all of the individual items from our client were supposed to have very specific colors. So you could do something like that, where you could do a little spiel about each and every one of these. Right here, let's go ahead and, oops, that didn't work out the way I wanted to. Maybe you want to do a little paragraph about each of these, which could be interesting. Maybe each one of them has their own little explanation. Boom. 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 I think, again, my alignment needs some work, but that's all right. We're playing around. Maybe these all have their own explanation because it was very important to the client that certain aspects or certain portions of their brand or their story be represented in each item. And this maybe would be something that's not necessarily for a ingredient project like this is, but I think you catch my meaning. You know, just like kind of an idea to lay things out a little bit different. And I think that I would also kind of bump this over just a little bit so it's not overtaking. And the alignment's a little weird, but again, we're working fast today. We're getting a lot of work done, and just brainstorming, spitballing ideas. So that's something you could do. You could also, maybe this is a place where you have 2 pages to show your deliverable instead of 1. And so we could have a couple kind of listed here. So maybe we will throw these 2 like so. Let's do that like up there, and we'll do this one here. And then let's grab our yogurt and our strawberry, and we will remove these. Let's grab our pineapple, mango, and banana. I'm just going to delete those. And we will upscale our yogurt. And maybe we just need to talk about the yogurt first, talk about the strawberry first, and then we could include some color information. Maybe we need to show how well we used the colors that were very specific for each item, things like that. This is, you know, you want to elaborate, show what you created, but kind of make it look interesting. You know, your client is excited to see what you have created for them. So make this kind of an adventure without being too terribly busy with it. Like I said earlier, we don't want this to be a chore for them to wade through. We want it to be very clear and concise, but it should show them what they want to see in a way that is attractive. So there's our deliverables page, which is really cool. And then the next, which we are going to get into, Lorem Squishum. Yes, yes, indeed. Clever says, I'm going to name my smoothie Squishy, and it shall be mine, and it shall be my squishy. I love it. I love the reference. Mango pineapple, love it, Annika. Is it a smoothie or a slushie? I like slushies. I think it could be anything you want, honestly. It could be a slushie for you if you want it to be a slushie. Myra, welcome in. It's good to see you, Myra. Clever. I like to smooth it. Axel, is vanilla allowed for smoothies? Absolutely. Vanilla bean smoothies are really delicious, actually. In fact, I see your vanilla smoothie and I raise you vanilla bean and honey smoothie, which is absolutely delightful. Maybe with some like almond flakes sprinkled on top. That sounds delicious to me. Of course, you also like mango, Val. Annika and I are slowly realizing that we are like almost the same person, with purple and the kind of work we love, the kind of people that inspire us, the kind of smoothies we like to drink. It's a lot. It's a lot. Sorry, gotta go. All right, adios, Michelle. It's good to see you. Gotta have mango, Amy says. Pineapple is such a good add to. Yeah, I think that a lot of when it comes to smoothies, we are doing smoothie talks, but I think a lot of really good smoothies have all of the different ingredients in it, but that's kind of why I added the pineapple juice, because I think a great way to make a smoothie taste delicious is also to incorporate another ingredient in juice form, because that's always super tasty. So we have our yogurt and our strawberry. We've got our deliverables page, we've got our goals page, and now we need to show mock-ups and things. So let's go ahead and duplicate our deliverables artboard. Boom, and I'm just going to drag this over here. Let's throw this in there and align it. Thank you, alignment gods. You save my life every time I try to do something like this. And let's rename this to, I'm just going to call it mockups. You might like to call it something different for your clients. but we can show mock-ups here, and this is where we are going to put some shots so that our client can see it in the works, in the real world. And so one thing that I would like to do is actually jump over into Adobe Express and create something that could be like a real world application of these illustrations. So I'm going to go ahead and hide our strawberry. In fact, I'll just delete these layers because we don't need them. We're going to be filling this up with things, and just to hold our place, to keep things interesting as we move along in our piece. One thing that I like to do as I'm putting together a pitch for my client, and this is just a quick tip for all of you who maybe come through to do your work and you find it hard to stay enthused, or to really feel like you have valuable things to add into a project pitch when you first get done. Because I think creating a project pitch, especially if you're creating like a deliverable pitch for something where the client has only asked you to create one thing, like what if your client asks you to create like just the strawberry illustration, you know? And depending on what kind of work you do, maybe you're working with a studio, maybe you're working with a company where that's not ever really the case. But for me, being a freelance illustrator, sometimes I get a commission or something for my client looking for just like, oh, I want this illustration of a candy bar that says my Twitch TV username on it just to place on my Twitch stream, you know, something odd and wacky like that. And it can be weird to like try and create a deck for that and feel like that deck is powerful. So when I'm planning out my deck and sorting everything out, I have like this empty mockups page. So I will come in with just my my shape tool and I will put random shapes in here that looks like I have work done and ready for my mockup, because when I do that, it makes me feel like I can imagine a future where the mock-up is full of beautiful artwork and looks nice. And maybe that's weird, but I think you should do that if you struggle with filling up a project pitch or feeling confident about what you're presenting. Because now when I zoom out, like, it's not just this empty page at the bottom here that I have to fill up. It's got stuff in there so I can begin to visualize the future of my end product here. I like to do it. Makes me feel good. Can't be anything, sign me up. Annika says, the only difference is I am not a diehard Star Wars fan. Hashtag just saying. You could be converted, Annika. Never say never. Never say never, Padawan, okay? All right, so we've got our mockups page. Let's pop over to Adobe Express. I'm gonna hang over here to my face cam because I'm gonna do some noodling around with my main monitor here, because I would like to use my big monitor for this, so that we can design according to the larger screen. Let me pull up my template, and I'm actually going to link this template to you folks so that you can all use the template that I am using today. I created just a quick, you know, just a quick little template that could be fun to use. So let me pop over here now because I've got it up. Let me make sure that I flip over to my main monitor. Ta-da! So we have a smoothie recipe page here, and I've just created something really quick in our Adobe Express. We are going to get the link in the chat, so if you would like to remix this template with me, feel free. Also, I need to make sure, one second, I'm going to pop over here. I need to make sure I can see my chat. I need to see what you guys are saying to me. I need all the deets. Okay. So yeah, we have our smoothie recipe thing here, kind of an interesting lockup I thought would be fun to experiment with, and we are going to create something to place in our deliverable package area. Patty Wanaka. I love it. Yes, so Annika's linked that smoothie template, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit remix this template, and we are going to create something that we can place in a mock-up that shows our client how they can use the smoothie illustration images. So I'm going to actually resize this because I found a mock-up on the free section of Adobe Stock, but I believe it takes letter size images. So what I want to do is just hit resize on this, and I'm going to come down to the letter size, 8.5 by 11 inches, and just resize that real quick, which is not a big crazy change here. And what I might want to do as well is kind of make some of these illustrations into mine. So I've got my smoothie recipe up here. Let me know in the chat if any of you have thought of what to name our smoothies. We're gonna have mangoes, bananas, strawberries, yogurt, and pineapple juice. So what are we calling it? Let me know. But I'm gonna come in here and let's go ahead actually, and I think I'm gonna ungroup these actually. I grouped them just, while I was designing this, but I am going to change these and I want to be able to move things around really easily. So what I'm going to do is delete my stars because I want to. I guess you could replace two, but I'm just going to come over to my libraries and I should have a CreaTips library, which you also have a CreaTips library with our illustrations in it. And I'm just going to start throwing our yogurt in here. Let's go ahead. Oh, that fits so cute. That fits so nicely right there. I like that. I don't know if yogurt should be first on the ingredients list, but because it's adorable, we're going to leave it there. And I'm also going to, I should be able to change our order. So let's put our ingredient 1 here. And I think I might even bump it down like so. And I think I'm going to have to change the text title as well. So let's call this vanilla yogurt. I like it. Let's call that vanilla yogurt. I like the overlap. I really do. I think the overlap is adorable. Let's go ahead and add in our strawberry. Let's throw our strawberry in here. I think this is kind of a cute way to go about this. Might need to make that a little smaller, but we will see. Let's go ahead and throw ingredient 2 here, and we can have this overlap a little more than the last one did. Let's call this strawberry. Boom. Oops. And then let's go ahead and throw in our mango. I just think it would be kind of cute to lock things up like this. And I think, again, with this project, there's a lot of noodling and changes and things that could be done to our design and the way that we're laying things out. But, when it comes to this show, we're doing a lot in an hour, and we are just trying to get the basic idea down so that we have something to work with. So the fine nitty-gritty details I am not so worried about. Let's call this fresh mango because we need a longer word. It needs to be longer, so we're gonna make it longer. We're gonna fluff it up with some foo-foo words. There we go. And then here, let's just add the pineapple juice because we're running out of room here. And I might rearrange some things later, but I like our mango juice or our pineapple juice just like that. And then we will take our ingredient 5, boom, and we'll place this, we'll place this right down here like that. And we'll call this pineapple. Pineapple juice. I don't know if juice is going to fit there, so we won't worry about it. But something cool that we could do, let's see, smooth sneeze. This is so cute. I like it, and we've got, let me see how much time we have. We've got about 8 minutes left, so I can't add all of the textures and things that I really want to add to it, unfortunately, but that's okay. We could just do something like this. We could duplicate our strawberry and maybe bring our strawberry down behind everything, and we could make it larger, and we could start throwing in stuff like that. Like maybe do that and turn it on a lower opacity just so that there's something interesting back there. We could also do the same thing here just to kind of fill that space and really make it adorable, with the understanding that, oops, that at another time, we might, what did I do just now? That one's there. This one is behind, and that's the one we want to move. Okay. Why? Weird. Not sure what happened there. All right, let's go ahead and make this larger, and I'm going to flip it horizontal, and we will put that here. I don't know why I just messed that up or how that happened, but we're fine. Let me rotate this. Let's get that right down here. And we can do, you know, some interesting things like this, just to kind of, you know, make it cute, make it adorable, make things look nifty, give it a background, stuff like that. Could be fun. All right, so now we've got this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and download. I'm gonna download a PNG, and then I'm going to pop over to our Photoshop one more time. Let's go ahead. Let me make sure I've got everything up. Actually, I could, instead of noodling everything around, I could just, I didn't have to do a big setup for that one. Let's go ahead and, ta-da! All right, we're back. Didn't need a whole heck of a lot of craziness happening for that one. All right, so let's come back over here. I'm gonna snag my image, and I'm actually gonna come over to one of my little mock-ups that I've made, or that I am using, and I am just going to change up some of the designs here. I'm not gonna make anything like totally crazy. I'm just going to edit this mock-up, which I did find in the free section of Adobe stock. Let's grab like a reddish color, something like this. And I'm just gonna make, you know, something interesting. So maybe for this, let me go back to our piece here. Where are you? There you are. Maybe for this, I just want to show the client that when they are using this design, it could be something that's like really, really cute for them to have like on a clipboard at the front desk of their business, you know, where everyone can come and see like what's in this one, something like that. Simply Smoothie is super cute. Simply Smoothie is adorable. We might have to use Simply Smoothie. Let's go ahead and drop this in here, and I will resize this to really fit. Boom, and I'm gonna say save. And then let's come back over to here. Kind of cute. Needs a little bit of work, but we'll work on it. Let's go ahead, and I think I can change. What I'm gonna do actually is just grab my paint bucket tool, and grab some of this yellow. Ooh, on another layer though, please. Something like that, and we could scroll through our, let's do color like that. I like this. I like this. And what I'm gonna do real quick, because I don't want to spend so much time saving and navigating and finding my stuff, is I'm gonna do something that I would not normally recommend 100%, but I'm just going to group everything, duplicate it. I'm gonna merge all of this. Should command, is it command E? Yeah, command E. And then I'm going to come over, I could jot this in my library, but I'm going to come over and just grab this layer and come over here, and I'm going to start throwing this in my mockups here. So now I can start to kind of add some images to really show how my client can visualize, like, oops, seeing, you know, what I've made in the real world, things like that. And I think we have just a couple of minutes left here. I did want to make a little sticker and stuff, but I don't know if we have too much time to get extra spicy with our mock-ups. But yeah, I've had a really good time hanging out with you guys, kind of showing how we could take some creative advice and some pro tips from Amy Hood and start to really actually hammer out a project that we can use in the future. So this is how I would go about it. I thank you so much, Amy, for being here and hanging out and sharing with us while we created. We have got 3 pages completed for our final deliverables project pitch with all of the necessary information I think that should be included when you're showing your client the final product. I would do maybe some stickers. I think it's good to have like 3 different images showing your client what it can look like in the real world. So I would do like a sticker, and then I also had one just in case we had time that was like a bag to show what it would look like if someone took takeaway away from the smoothie bar. But yeah, that is all the time I have for you today, folks. We can get Amy Hood's links in the chat. Again, give her a follow, give Hoodspa Design a follow because they are fabulous over there. I've had a blast again hanging out with you guys. Please give me a follow as well on Instagram because I do small mini episodes of CreaTips via Instagram Reels over on Insta. I would love to see if you created anything with our templates and things that we made and used today. And yeah, that is all the time I have for you today. I hope you'll stick around because we have some epic stuff happening on Twitch right after me. I hope that you will. I think we'll probably get a link in the chat for that as well. But right after here on Twitch, we have Cody Bear coming up with some awesome pattern making. So I'll see you guys around. Adios, folks.